While you were busy laughing at magic xylophones and long dogs, Bluey was quietly preparing you for the loss of its smallest, kindest pup. 1. The domino-heart prophecy. Wasn't just cute. In Fairies, Bingo sees something magical, sparkly, floaty, weirdly emotional. A tiny creature builds a heart out of dominoes, places a 4 and a 1, then lets the whole thing fall. Everyone laughs, but not us. We paused. A heart that's meant to collapse? A 4 and a 1? That's not random, that's a countdown. Season 4, Episode 1. And guess who's the only one who can see this fairy? Bingo. Not Bluey, not Bandit, not even Chili. Just Bingo, like she's caught between two worlds, not fully here anymore. This moment feels sweet on the outside, but deep down, it's saying something darker. That heart didn't just break. It ended, and the show didn't blink. 2. Bingo never leaves the house. At the end of Surprise, we jump forward in time. Bluey is grown up now. She has her own child, her own life, and her own house. She shows up to visit her parents unexpectedly, and everything seems normal. But something's off. When Bluey asks about her sister, Chili says Bingo is just out the back. That's it. No adult Bingo, no mention of her own place, no sign of a grown-up life. We never even see her. It's strange, because if Bluey has moved on, shouldn't Bingo have done the same? Maybe she's sick. Maybe she needs care. Or maybe she never made it that far. The healer house might not just be home, it might be where Bingo stayed forever. 3. The cemetery wasn't a joke.
In the episode Show and Tell, Bandit ignores the car's navigation and ends up at a cemetery. It's played for laughs, like most detours in Bluey. But let's be honest, what kind of kids' show casually rolls into a graveyard unless it means something? Bluey and Bingo don't seem fazed. Neither do the parents. That's what makes it unsettling. Bandit and Chili just smile in that tight, polite way adults do when something serious is hiding underneath. It's the kind of scene you brush off until you remember the show has been quietly preparing us for loss. If life is a road trip, maybe this wasn't a wrong turn at all. Maybe this is where one of their stories ends. 4. Bingo evolves without them. Flat Pack looks like an episode about cardboard and chaos, but something else is happening beneath all the space lizard fun. While Bandit and Chili build a swing set in the yard, Bingo goes on a journey through time. She transforms from a blob to a fish to a full-on space explorer, and then she leaves. Not for dinner, not for bed, she leaves Earth. Meanwhile, her parents stay behind, slowly putting together what they call paradise. At first, it seems like a playground, but when you look again, it feels more like a resting place. Bingo doesn't come back. She reaches the stars, and they don't follow. It's not just evolution, it's an exit, and they knew it. 5. Sleepy Time was a soft goodbye. On the surface, Sleepy Time is just a dreamy bedtime adventure. But if you follow Bingo's journey closely, something deeper is going on. She drifts through space alone, visiting planets, searching for warmth, and slowly moving farther from her family. Chili's voice echoes like a lullaby, telling her, "I'll always be here, even if you can't see me." That sounds sweet, but it also sounds final. By the end, Bingo lets go of Floppy, the comfort she's always held onto, and disappears into the light. Not back to her bed, not to morning, just away. The show never calls it death. It doesn't need to. It feels like a child learning how to say goodbye before anyone tells her to. 6. The dump wasn't just about trash. In the dump, Bandit throws away one of Bluey's drawings, her self-portrait. She's upset, naturally, but Bandit explains it's not really gone. It will be recycled and turned into something new. At first, this sounds like a classic dad move to calm a meltdown. But then it starts to feel like something else. When Bluey asks where she was before she was born, the answer isn't clear, but it doesn't need to be. The message is already planted. Nothing disappears forever. It changes. It comes back. That's not just recycling. That's reincarnation in disguise. If Bingo disappears later in the show, maybe this episode is already telling us she won't be lost. She'll just become something else. Something we'll recognize. 7. The bird was just the beginning. In Copycat, Bluey and Bandit try to help an injured bird.
They rush it to the vet, hoping for a happy ending. But the vet doesn't sugarcoat anything. She simply says, the bird has died. No soft music, no long speech. Just the truth. Bandit doesn't panic or try to fix it. He accepts it calmly, like this is something natural and expected. And maybe it is. Maybe this moment isn't about the bird at all. Maybe it's training. The show is gently teaching us how to handle loss without falling apart. It's planting an idea early, knowing something bigger is coming. If we can accept a bird's death, maybe we'll be ready when it's someone closer. 8. The dragon was a diagnosis. In Dragon, the healer family sets off on a magical adventure, but there's a twist hiding in the fantasy. Chili rides a horse that isn't just a horse, it's her mum. Not a metaphorical mum, but a quiet stand-in for the one she lost. The dragon they face isn't a monster. It's illness, something slow, heavy, and final. Chili's goodbye to the horse feels more like closure than play. And when you look at the healer family tree, things get heavier. Grandpa Mort has heart issues. Aunt Brandy can't have children. Chili lost one. Every red healer carries something. And so does Bingo. Her red coat, once cute and playful, now feels like a signal. Maybe the dragon didn't leave. Maybe it's waiting. 9. The hospital scene. Said too much. In Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound, Bingo is stuck in a hospital bed. She's been there for days, and the doctor says she has to stay one more night. That line might sound harmless, but let's be honest, doctors don't keep kids overnight unless something serious is going on. Bluey tries to cheer her up by putting on a play, and the story she tells is oddly specific. It's about a puppy who gets sick, and no one can fix it. There's no cure, no solution, only time. Chile watches quietly, but you can see her eyes start to water. She doesn't argue. She doesn't say it'll be okay. Maybe she already knows it won't be. Maybe that's why the play matters. 10. They're grieving her in advance. In Mini Bluey, the girls dye their fur and pretend to be each other. It's a silly setup until it suddenly isn't. When Bandit says he'd rather have 2 Bingos than 2 Blueys, it feels like a joke at first, until you see how seriously he means it. Bluey doesn't understand why her parents are smiling so big when she plays Big Bingo, the grown-up version of her sister. But it's not because the act is funny, it's because they know they might never get to see the real thing. For a moment, they're pretending Bingo makes it to adulthood, that she lives long enough to become this version of herself. And that kind of pretending feels less like play and more like practice for goodbye. 11. Bingo lives in a softer world. In the episode Yoga Ball, Bingo doesn't jump, crash, or tumble like the others. She plays gently, moves slowly, and needs everything to be a little softer. Her voice stays low. Her steps are careful. At first, it just seems like a personality thing. Some kids are quiet, right? But after a while, a pattern starts to form. She avoids rough play. She leans into calm, careful games. It's not just a mood, it feels physical, like her body can't handle the same chaos Bluey thrives on. Maybe it's joint pain, maybe it's fatigue, or maybe she's living in a world that's been padded around her because her parents know something we don't. And they're trying to protect her from more than bumps. 12. They're not just being careful. If you look closely, you'll notice something strange about how Bandit and Chili parent their daughters. Bluey gets freedom. She climbs higher, runs farther, makes her own mess. But with Bingo, things shift. They step in faster. They hover a little more. It's subtle, but consistent. At the pool, they stay closer. On the playground, they spot her before she slips. It looks like regular parenting, but something about it feels more like quiet strategy. They're not just being cautious, they're guarding her, keeping her as safe and comfortable as possible. Maybe for a reason they don't talk about. And maybe all that gentle hovering is less about control and more about making sure Bingo stays with them as long as she can. 13. Pluto wasn't just cold, it was goodbye. In bedtime, Bingo drifts through a dream space filled with planets, plush toys, and quiet meaning. Her journey starts near warmth, with Floppy by her side, but as she travels farther, everything begins to fade. When she reaches Pluto, the most distant frozen place, Floppy vanishes. She's alone. And instead of panicking, Bingo lets it happen. She doesn't cry. She doesn't turn back. She simply floats, quiet and calm, as if she already understands something most kids don't. That moment feels like more than just a dream. It's the point where she stops needing to hold on. It's the moment she chooses to continue without anyone. No rescue, no return, just one small child learning how to leave. And meaning it. 14. The scrapbook stops for a reason. In the episode stories, we see something strange in a moment that feels ordinary. Bandit is packing lunches, and while Bluey gets the usual, Bingo's box looks different. Her snacks are gluten-free. The extras seem medical. It's never explained, but the message is clear enough. Something's being managed quietly. Later, a photo montage shows Lila and Bingo growing up together. They laugh, they play, they reach college. And then it ends. No pictures of adult Bingo. No wedding. No future birthdays. Just a blank space where her life should have kept going. It's not an editing choice. It's a quiet stop. As if someone filled the scrapbook with everything they could, until they couldn't anymore. And then they closed it gently. Well, now you know. Bluey might have just pulled off the quietest goodbye in animation history. But did they actually write Bingo out? Or is something even weirder coming next? Comment what you think happened. And don't forget to like and subscribe. You won't want to miss what we've got lined up next.